Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Duels with our Mono Blue Gearseeker Serpent deck. Before we get into the game, if you haven't already voted for the decks that you'd like to see when Aether Revolt comes out, then go back to the first video. Be sure to like absolutely every single one of those deck strategies that you like the idea of, and whichever one gets voted is the one that I will play first, and the second one I will play second. Alright guys, I'm going to get into the games. See you there. Okay, we're on the play. We have some turn 2 stuff. We have a Gearseeker Serpent that I don't think we're going to be able to get. But being able to scry with the construct as well as draw a card with a vial, I think we can just take the hand off those alone. And we've obviously got the lands that we so desperately desire. So it is not a bad hand by any stretch of the imagination. Our opponent went down to 6 cards. They're on green-white. Rank 39, called Whooper Lol. Okay, more lands. Not great, be honest. Let's go Eco Construct so that we can get some power on the board, as well as hopefully scrying away a land that's probably inevitably on the top. Ah, another Vial. I'll take a Vial, actually. It's one less artifact as well, as just a redraw, so that seems good enough to me. Can't cast both of them in a turn, though, unfortunately. So there's an argument to scry it to the bottom so that we can get a bonded construct or another 1-drop/0 drop artifact. But we'll see. We might draw it off the vial, to be honest. So let's get in for the attack first. See what our opponent wants to do. We're on Abzan. Please don't be super friends. That made me so sad. Alright, we get the 2 in. Play the vial. See if we get a land or a 1-drop. A 1-drop would be preferable. Ooh, Bonesaw. Alright, well, we're just going to go Island here. That's 3 off of Gearseeker Serpent. 4 in total, so Gearseeker's going to cost 3 pretty soon. There's no reason to cast Bonesaw right now, though, because we can use it to surge if we want to. And it's also an extra card that our opponent doesn't know about. So hiding that information is pretty good. Westvale Abbey and pass for our opponent. Ooh, alright. That's good. Let's get in for 2. Yeah. We could play our Bonesaws and attack in, but I'm going to be spending most of my mana on these Alchemist Vials and whatever we draw off of them, hopefully. I'd rather get another 2-drop here and cast that instead. Should have maybe done that pre-combat just to make sure. Yeah, because we have a 3-drop now, don't we? Of course we do. Of course. Alright, so cost 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We can get a Gearseeker out right now, actually. So Bonesaw, 0. Bonesaw, 0. That means that Gearseeker should cost 2 mana. That's a 5/6. Sweet. That's a board state you can be proud of. Ooh. Yeah, I feel like this must be Super Friends. You've gone into far too many colours for it to not be, really. Alright. Island, I think. I don't want to commit too hard to this board because that's Radiant Flames all over, and then another land. If it's another white source, it's into Planar Outburst. So I think I'm just going to equip up the Bonesaws and see if our opponent wants to try and remove one of our creatures or something like that. I'll stick it on the Eager Construct just so we can spread the damage out a little bit. If he removes one of them, then we're at least not committing entirely to one creature. Alright. And swing in. That's 9 damage. There's your Blessed Alliance. So get rid of that. That's unfortunate. But now we can put out another Gearseeker. And that's 10 power on the board. 12 once we equip our Bonesaws. So our opponent needs a board wipe quite fast. Or a Nahiri. A Nahiri also works. Sure. -2 to exile one of the Gearseekers. No blockers though, so we are going to be able to take down Nahiri. but it's 5 less damage that is being sent to our opponent, unfortunately. This must be Super Friends. It must be. Inventor's Fair, eh? Can play that. Get in 4-5 at Nahiri. Take the lady down. And... do I play a chief here? I'm expecting a board wipe, so there's an argument to say absolutely not, because this is good enough threat as it is. We can pay 6 every single turn to make it unblockable, so our opponent's dead in 3 turns if they don't have life gain. We can also stop them blocking with Alchemist Vial as well if they play a decent creature. And a forest. Has he got another Blessed Alliance? I think he might do. Alright, we gain 1 life from the Inventor's Fair. Grip of the Royal. Ooh. Lovely. Lovely. Alright. Let's get in with our Gearseeker. It is Blessed Alliance, really, isn't it? Let's be honest. He's just going to make a 1-1. So, we're going to make it unblockable. So he can take us back down to 20. Could have also Grip of the Royal there and draw on a card. I'll save that for another time though, when we can surge it. And plus we've got some of our Alchemist Vials as well. But if he attacks in here, then we can save some of this stuff for later. Yeah. Okay. 1 life down. Passes the turn, we get that life back thanks to Inventor's Fair. And get another island. Okay. Well, I think we're going to chief here. He hasn't put up any kind of board wipes, so I'm not so bothered about committing to the board. We've got Grip of the Royal with a surge cost to tap down the token that he makes, plus Alchemist Vials as well. So yeah, he's going to make another one. We get a redraw. Surge that, tap it down, it doesn't untap. And a Foundry Inspector. Okay. So if our opponent can't kill our Gearseeker and our Chief, then he's dead. This is essentially how that works. We're going to leave back mana for an Alchemist Vial for no good reason. Maybe a Gaia's Revenge we want to stop, although you can't do that. Continue playing. Yeah, we've pretty much had this from the very beginning. We had a really good start though. Getting Gearseeker down as early as we did pretty much just cost our opponent the game. Not much they could do about that. Okay. Without any blockers, that is going to do it. Because Alchemist Vial is going to stop this one from blocking, and then we've got lethal on 2 different creatures, so a Blessed Alliance doesn't really save you unless you go for the life gain, and then Ravaging Blaze. X damage to target creature. You got all 6 for that. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that taps you out though, so 100% a guarantee. Stop that blocking. Get in with our Chief, and that's going to be the game. Sweet. Skadoosh. And... oof. Alright guys, on to the next match. Alright, we are on the draw. We have 2 lands. And fairly nice curve actually. It's just a shame that this Ruins comes into play tapped, so we can't go into Bonded Construct first turn really. We're going to keep it though. Our opponent is rank 36 called Mr. Bojangles. I feel like I've played against you before, but that is a very popular name nonetheless. Alright, with that in mind, do I still want to Ruins here? No, I don't think I do, because I want to get creatures down as early as possible so we can actually attack him with our Bonded Construct. So it's going to be Bonded Construct here, and then next turn Island into Glintness Crane. And then we can potentially attack, depending on what our opponent does here. So he's on red-blue, so it could be Prowess, it could be... Oh, Grixis. Key to the city. Is this Reanimator? This might be Reanimator. Let's see what he does with that key, if he really wants to use it. Because the key allows you to discard cards, and that's exactly what Reanimator wants to be doing. And then he gets to draw cards from it as well. But that also is a good enough strategy in Prowess as well, to make a big Prowessing creature and then make it unblockable. Also works. Let's go with Glintness Crane and try to find an artifact in the top 4 cards. We find a Bonded Construct and 3 lands. I'm glad I was not going to be drawing all of that. Alright. So, still can't attack him with a Construct, but next turn we can get him for 3. Yeah, it looks like he might be Reanimator if he's planning on discarding a card right here, because he can't Madness it because he has no mana open. So it's not that kind of strategy. Just an indicator as to what he was doing there. Smuggler's Copter. Okay, that's less Reanimator-ish. He's leaving up Fiery Temper mana with the Madness. Something to consider. Okay. Well, let's first try and attack. Seems like he's going to allow it. So we'll get him for 3 here. And then I think I want a Ruins and Eager Construct. And then once the Ruins gets to untap, then we can start putting counters on our Foundry Inspector and our Bonded Construct, that kind of thing. We both get to scry. Do I want another one? No. I wouldn't be entirely upset with another land, actually. So we'll pass it over. I'm kind of looking for the Gearseeker because we have Bonesaw and a fair amount of artifacts that we can cast to make it super cheap. Goes with a Languish, sure. It's not the end of the world at all. I had no commitment to any of those creatures. Apparently our opponent was not comfortable with us having them though. Okay, so what we're going to do here is play an island, and then we're going to Foundry Inspector, and then use the Ruins to put a counter on it. Alternatively, we could have Whirler Rogue there, but I think having a single creature like this to make Bonded Construct free is pretty good. We could also put the Bonesaw out, but we can't equip it, so there's literally no point in playing it this turn. It costs 0, so we can do it whenever we want. Can essentially do it in response to finding a Gearseeker to make it 1 mana cheaper. Prized Amalgam. See, that's very Reanimator-ish. This is going to key to the city. Probably a Fiery Temper on our Foundry Inspector. Yep. Thought as much. That's fair enough. Foundry Inspector down. It's going to make our artifacts a lot more expensive, but we don't have any. So it's not a problem. I'd like to see another land though off this draw, because if we can get another land, then we've got 4 mana for the Whirler Rogue, and then we still get to leave up our Ruins to give one of the Thopter tokens a counter. So he's going to loot with the Smuggler's Copter. Draws and discards an island. Okay. Sure. Land. Come on. Nice. Nice. Inventor's Fair. Okay. Whirler Rogue coming down. And it's another Whirler Rogue again the next turn, which is pretty good. We're going to put a counter on one of our Thopters because we can. And pass the turn. We can't attack with the Bonded Construct because it cannot attack alone. So yet again, no reason for the Bonesaw. Alright. It's key to the city on taps. If he wants to pay 2 to draw a card, he absolutely can. Chooses not to. Oh, he does. Sorry. So, kind of hurt himself on mana a little bit there, but he might still be able to do something like a Radiant Flames, which I'm almost guaranteeing is probably in this deck. He can do it for 3. He'll take away his prize amalgam, but that's not a problem. We lose our board, although we can recover quite easily with the other Whirler-Rogue. There's the Radiant Flames. So good at calling things today. Don't know why. Oh no, he did it for 2. No, I didn't call that. I didn't look at the mana he had properly. I just knew he could do it for 3. Which tends to mean he can do it for 2. Okay, Smuggler's Copter gets in and loots, dropping a swamp. Sure. And passes the turn. We get a bonded construct, not very good, unfortunately. So it looks like another Whirler-Rogue and another counter on our Thopter token. Rebuild the board he just took away. If there's one thing to say about our opponent's playstyle is they've been pulling the trigger on board wipes probably a bit too much. It's good for us because he's going to run out of them pretty soon. He's only got 1 Languish and 1 Radiant Flames left if he's running all of them. He's not in any other colours for any other board wipes as far as I can tell. And he gets a Glintnest Crane and completely whiffs. But that is a blocker for our Thopters, unfortunately. We're not going to be blocking this. Okay. Stops him using his Looter Scooter, though. Our current situation. Ooh, Westvale Abbey. Alright. I like Westvale Abbey. Because that means we can get to Ormondor quite quickly. Potentially. So instead of paying a life to make a human token, we're just going to play the Bonded Construct instead. Essentially going to do the same thing. And it gets us enough artifacts for Inventor's Fair to trigger. In fact, should we Bonesaw now? Yeah, let's Bonesaw now. Just because if he gets rid of one of our Thopters or a Construct, then we don't get an Inventor's Fair trigger. So we only have 3 artifacts. Let's get... Yeah, probably the Bonded Construct. I guess. Oh, I don't know. We've got flyers in the air to stop his Smuggler's Copter, and we've got a Bonded Construct now on the ground. Lightning Axe going for probably a Thopter. Is Thopter here? Yep. Okay. Just noticed. We forgot to do that. Don't want to miss that trigger. Fair play. He's empty-handed now, though. Got 1 card in hand off the draw. What did he discard? Another Lightning Axe. Okay. And he's coming in with the Smuggler's Copter. Tapping down the Glintnest Crane. Makes sense. He might just be able to race us to the point where we can't Westvale Abbey, actually. And I imagine it's a legitimate worry for him, especially since he's attacking him with his prized amalgam. Don't want to take 6 here. Really don't. Ugh. But if I lose this construct, we don't gain life. And we get further away from our Westvale Abbey, and he knows that. I think that's exactly why he's making this attack. Go down to 5. We're not in burn range, so I think we can just take it. May end up regretting that, but we'll see. Yeah, Livia mobilized for war. Ugh. Go up to 6. Cultivates caravan. Our flying tech is just really bad here. So he's got Smuggler's Copter, now Olivia, plus the Glintness Crane, but he's probably going to be using that to crew up his copter. So he's going to be getting in for 6 in the air, and we can't block it profitably. We take 3, and then we've got 1 more turn. What can Inventor's Fair grab us? Artifacts that fly. I don't think there are any. Artifacts that deal with flyers. There's the Alchemist Vial, but we're going to be tapping out entirely to get that. I think we just have to cultivate his caravan here and just chomp away. If I want to put a counter on it, I've got to tap something out, and I don't want to do that either. Yeah, I think our opponent's got us here. So maybe they weren't using their board wipes prematurely. Maybe they used them exactly as they intended to. Deep in the think tank our opponent is. Yeah, crewing up the copter, probably with a glint nest. Yes? No? I think he's considering whether or not he wants to attack on the ground or not. Which is a fair question. He doesn't. I know he doesn't. Because we've got Cultivator's Caravan as a decent blocker. But he has an unknown card in hand, and it very well may be removal. We're about to find out though, because he's about to discard it. It's probably Fiery Temper. There's a mountain. It's going to make it unblockable though, so that is going to be game. Yep. We don't have the flyers. Oh, that sucks. Well, can't win them all. Can't block it all. I'm just going to take it. We could block 3 of it and we'd be taking 6. Yeah, well. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. So if you did enjoy the video, then be sure to leave a like. It helps me out a great deal. Lets me know you're enjoying the series. And be sure to subscribe for some more Magic Duels in the future. And if you already have and have not yet, then be sure to hit the bell icon right next to the subscription button to be notified when I release new videos. Alright guys, I'll see you in a bit. Bye bye.